Hello, hello, scrappy friends. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. I'm Diane Gutierrez, and I am a Creative Memories advisor located in Southern California. We are going to work in the Keeping It Simple series. We've been doing this all year. The Keeping It Simple series, if you're new, we have been using this book. It came out last year for Creative Memories' birthday giveaway. This is what they gave away this year. If you haven't seen it, it's the deck of cards, the challenges. It's 52 challenges, and each card has something different on it, and that's going on right now. So if you they extended it, so if you haven't jumped in on that and you're looking for some creative ideas, I would say go over to Creative Memories. I'll have a link, my link, in the comments of this video, but go check it out. It's free with purchase. Enough talking, let me go ahead and switch my screen over and we'll go ahead and get started. I'll show you the recipe I picked out for today. Yeah, I'm going to be working in my daughter's, sometimes I call it mine, sometimes I call it my daughter's, but it's definitely my daughter's National Park book. I'm going to get two pages done in her album today. The project I picked out is this one right here. It's recipe number 52. If you have the book, it's on page 108. If not, go hop over to my blog, Diane Gutierrez Scrapbooking. It's right down here. There we go. And just go to the blog, and it should be the first one on the blog. If not, you can scroll down. It's always by date of the date that it's here aired on. This is a cool recipe. I love this one. I've actually been looking forward to doing this one for a while. I love the special technique. I like to always point that out, which is they bring in the old decorative trimmer, which is no longer available, but a super fun tool. So they bring that in here and down here. But what they do here with the punch, I believe this is rustic fence. They double punched it, and on the bottom, the top one, they gave it extra room at the bottom and also did the wave cut on the deco trimmer here. And then they doubled up the punch behind there. Very nice. I love that. But unfortunately, I am going to take that part out today. I had all intentions I was going to do this exactly the way they had it. But when I was pulling out my pictures and getting everything ready, my design, I think, doesn't flow as well with this area right here. So I'm taking out the strips. My photos down here will be different. So that's going to have to change as well. Instead of a punch, I'm going to bring in a border sticker. So I am keeping this one very simple today. It should come together pretty quickly. I am keeping the circle elements. I love that. You guys probably realize I do a lot of circles. This is a doubled up circle, so I love that look. This little circle down here will be also going away because, like I said, my photos down here are different. Everything else is going to pretty much be the same. Okay, so we need 4 pieces of paper today, and a pretty simple cut on the first one. A little bit different, and mine will be even more different. This paper here, they're using for mats behind the photos. So if you don't want to use designer paper, this is an opportunity to bring in some cardstock. And then we'll be punching out one circle out of this paper, which is the top circles that we see here. I will only be cutting out 2. And I won't need that little one right there because I won't have room down there. Here's where they use the punch and then the swell on the decorative trimmer, so I won't need that today. And the rest of designer paper number 3 is also used for photo mats. The last piece, now they used vellum to do these, which I think is just beautiful. To keep that in mind, if you're looking for a good recipe that uses vellum, here's one for you. But I won't be doing that, so I'll just be cutting out the circles with the 4th piece. Most of my paper today, so most of the paper, these 3 right here, this one that looks like the Grand Canyon, that's where she's at. So I'm going to bring that in, as well as this green and this turquoise. These all came from the Desert Scenes collection, so that's fun. But then I needed a background piece. And in the sample, you'll see that they did use a patterned paper. And I think this is a great opportunity if you're looking for a place to bring in that more busy kind of papery look. This is a great spot to bring it in because once you get everything on, just a little bit is popping out. So I thought, yep, I'm gonna do that. But this one came from Mountain Scenes. I picked it because it has a little bit of a spruce, not much, and then the brown kind of going through it. And so, and the two shades of green I thought really represented the Grand Canyon, because it's not big giant palms, big giant pine trees. It's just a little bit of green. So I thought that would be better than having a bunch of green paper. But go with what your photos have. So that's going to be my background for today. First paper we need to cut is paper number 1, and for me this is going to be the bottom portion of the layout, and I'm going to use this Grand Canyon piece. I don't want to cut this exactly in half as I don't need that much on the layout. My photos that are going to go at the bottom, instead of having them small little squares like they had in the layout, I'm going to try and keep they're horizontal, but I want to keep them as much landscape as I can. I mean, she's at the Grand Canyon, so I think it deserves to have the whole photo and the whole scene, as much of the scenery as I could. I did trim these down to 3.5 by 5.5. I did try and keep in as much of the scenery as possible. My idea is I don't need a lot, so I'm only going to cut to 4.5 inches. And I kind of have to be a little strategic. A lot of this is not even going to show, it's just going to have a hint of it behind. So I have 4.5 there. I don't want to just do the next 4.5 because I want it to kind of be the same on the other side. So I'm going to try and get this darker brown piece first. So I'm going to trim off a little chunk here. Let's see, get my guides out, that'll help. I'm going to have some red or whatever color that is, or orange, but it won't be perfect. So that's going to be the best right there. That is that. So I'm going to trim this and add it to my scrap. It's about 2 inches. And I'll mainly use it for that side. Now I'm going to cut the 4.5 inches so it's the same on both sides. So it's pretty close. It's not perfect, but I think when it's on the page, it'll look like at least they go together. Okay, and that's it for paper number 1. Paper number 2, which is my green, it's kind of look like little starburst paper. This will be for the photo mats. It's my photos at the bottom that's going to have the green. I need to do them, they're 3.5, so I'm going to go 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Yep, it's just a little matte back there, but see how it gives it just a little bit of texture with that print on there. Okay, so I need 4 of those. So this one, the Grand Canyon, of course she has a lot of photos, but since it's the Grand Canyon, I feel like it's worthy of 2 double page spreads. So what we're seeing today is going to be the first page, and then the next time we meet to do Keeping It Simple in 2 weeks, I will be doing the second 2 pages of the Grand Canyon. As I was talking, I pulled out my mat here because we're going to get some circles cut. So we're bringing in the smallest circle in the custom cutting system. We need to cut two circles. This is for those on the top part of the page. Doesn't matter where we cut it. There should be plenty of room on here to get 2. I'm using the red blade on the outside track. Oh, darn it. Did you see that? I jumped the track. That's what happens when you don't have the little feet in the track. All is good though, that's the scrap. Try that again though. Paper number 4, which is the one I am bringing in the cardstock for. Simple cuts for this one. I need 4 mats. It's for the ones I believe on the top of the page. So I'm going to do a 4x6 photo mat. And I will need 4 of those. Okay, put that aside, and we are on to paper number 3. Now I'm not doing the wavy cut part. If you're following along with the handout, I'm only going to cut the circles, so I just brought in a scrap. Red always cuts closest to the template. Green is kind of the middleman, kind of hangs out between both, and then blue cuts the furthest from the template. That's our background. Some of that's going to get covered up so it won't be super crazy loud or anything. And then this mountainy scene is going to come down here to the bottom. because like I said, I have all horizontal down here, and let's just see how we want to lay these out. And down here, yeah, I like that. You see a little bit more of the mountain. I could probably swap these two, but you see a little bit more of the background and the scene, and then all of a sudden there's the grand finale. Okay, and then these get photo mats. Now, for this border right in here, the book had that double punch out from the same border making cartridge, just 2 punches. I was gonna bring in a border sticker instead, and I'm going to use just a probably piece of that brown, that hot fudge back in. So for this, I wanted, instead of doing that double punch, I still wanted some kind of fun technique. So I'm going to change my blade and use a fancy blade instead. And I don't know if you guys have tried or got the new blades. They have 2 new ones out now. This one's called Rhythm. The other one is called Twist. And that completes actually the whole set. So that came out there. And then that one's always, I usually have a brand new straight one back there for storage, but I don't right now. I don't have one. So I guess I need to fill it in, and then I will have my complete rainbow. But anyway, these have very nice cuts. Some of these I feel like maybe even look the same, and it's hard to see, but I was pleasantly surprised on how much depth it has in the cuts. I'm going to show you actually. So that these will be the last 2 trimmer blades that they put out. My idea is, let's see, a 1/2 inch should be plenty for my plan here. I almost always use decal when I do outdoors, but I thought, nope, I want to give this one a try. But you see what I mean, how deep it is? It's much deeper cut than some of the other ones. I think you can see that there. And I like that. And the other one is the same, the Twist. And I'm putting my straight blade back in because I only need 2 of them, and it's gonna look the same. I don't need to cut another edge. I want the ripply edge down, so it'll be into this pattern paper down here. And then I'm gonna take the border sticker here and put it on top. And I'm gonna use this one because it looks like the Grand Canyon to me, the landscaping, right? And it's just a really thin border, not a lot. It's gonna be a nice little accent. And I have space here because the fence that they had in the design took up a lot more room. So I'm going to use up a little bit of the space here by doing this. And I'm going to put it toward the top edge of the straight part of the paper we just cut out. And so it's going to look like that. Just a little something to add. And I didn't really want to put this border sticker on top of my paper because I think it would have blended in way too much. So that's why I thought, well, let's put it on a little strip of something and give it a little bit of a fancy edge cut. I'll do the same thing on this side. So let's put our circles on. What they did is they took the 2 circles and they offset it so it has like a bigger area here. They have one right over here, and you don't have to do that if you wanted it more linear and like right in the center. I'm going to go with the offset, and I'm going to tuck it right under that, my little border. And I'm going to scoot my photos over just a tad. And then this one, they have it up here running off the page, and it's trimmed. Yeah, I like that turquoise. It adds a little pop in there, right? That's my page layout. Simple, simple. Just like that, we are ready to do some embellishing and put my title on. And I'm gonna need a journaling box. They journaled on this circle that I took away. And I do have a journaling card I pulled out and a few embellishments. I just went to my stash, found something, and I happen to have this dark green one. It looks like it could be little hearts, but it almost to me looks like rocks. And I thought, hey, that's perfect. It'll look like rocks on here. I'm going to tuck it over here. And I'm just thinking, because that's where I have most of the room. It's either here or there. And I think what I'll do is maybe tuck it, but have some green coming out the bottom of the photo. My title is going to come right over here. I went ahead and already wrote out the words Grand Canyon. And so that's going to be part of my titles over here. So I put this on wax paper just so I could play around and I could move it around the layout to see where I really want it. But then I do take it off the wax paper. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I've been asked about that, and I want to make sure I do take that off when I'm adhering everything down, and I put it one by one. I put the letters down. I do like a few things on the sticker sheet, and I also brought in a few things from my stash. So let's see. I do like this one that says Scenic Southwest. Again, it has that landscape that we would see maybe up here. It's a little bit red, which is okay. Oops, you guys can't even see. Let's scoot that back down. There we go. This part of the circle is going to get trimmed off, so it will be up here. I think I'm going to have it maybe overlapping that photo a little. In fact, maybe it'll be up onto some foam tape. Okay, perfect. I like that. I wanted to do this word explore. My idea is that it's going to say Explore Grand Canyon. I liked it because it's turquoise and it matches the circle. I'll even put it at a little angle. I do really want it to be on the green section so it doesn't mix in, but that looks pretty good. So it'll say Explore Grand Canyon. I do want to bring in these little flowers. In fact, bringing in this little red color one will help tie in that up there. Let's go ahead and grab that one. Put it over here on my mat for a minute. I like the orange one also. I like the little gecko. I don't know if they saw any, but he's cute. I think that's it. I'm not sure about the other wildlife, so I think I'll hold off on those. So in my stash, I had a couple of like wood veneer. I like this one. Adventure is calling, I must go, but I'm getting a lot of words on here, so let's hold off on that. And this is just a compass. So I think the compass is pretty good over here next to our Explore Grand Canyon. Adventure is calling. I guess it can come up here with our scenic. Might have to adjust a little bit here. Yeah, maybe something like that. I want to tie it in. I want to use both. I'll either use none or I'll use two just so it looks cohesive. And then this little flower I want on this side, I know, because I want that red to tie in somehow. Underneath the compass, yeah, barely touching the Grand Canyon so that everything in my little cluster is touching. I still have the journaling box too. I always like to give it a little something, so I think I'll put this flower like that, and then maybe the little gecko crawling on the flower. You know, I have some big pine trees. I didn't want a lot of trees on here because you can see there, that might be a pine tree. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to the Grand Canyon. So I think I want one right up here. These are old creative memories. Let's see if we have a date. Oh, 1997. It's as old as my middle child. Look how perfect they are. Even, 28 years later? Yep. I put a little sticky stuff on there, sticky removal, and it's perfect. Maybe over here. I might tuck it in behind the Explore and underneath the compass. There we go. We're done with that. I did bring in some gems from, I wrote it down, Something Blue collection had these beautiful, I think they're kind of outdoorsy. They're blue, green, browns, and so that's going to be perfect. I will sprinkle these around. I'll do one right over here. It kind of gives me my 3 there. Might actually go with the blue. I think I'm going to give it a couple. I just like lean them on it nice and lightly so I could still change it. Yeah, I like that. And over here, let's see. I think I'm going to come up here with some more blue and do 2. Perfect. And then I brought in some old Creative Memories. It does not have the year. Stickers. I'm just using this for these were new. These were Hot Fudge mini stickers, but for the year, I'm going to get the year on here somewhere. 2019. I'll probably stick it right over here on the journaling card, only because it's the white. It has white. I have the year on almost every page. I think mostly so she'll remember. Probably won't do it on the next page when I do the second half of Grand Canyon. Okay, there we go. And I'll line all this up when I go to adhere it on. Nothing's adhered right now. I'll do that off screen, and then I will post a final photo over in my Facebook page. Let me come on back, actually. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate all of you. And if you're watching a replay, let me know that as well. We'll be back next week. Well, thanks again, and I'll see all of you real soon. Take care. Bye.